blah, 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 blah. We are now live! Oh, yeah! Live, 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 live! Hello, welcome to the latest episode 19 of the Crafty Boys, where we like to sit around and talk about beer and all kinds of Canadian man stuff, because that's how we roll. I would like to welcome everybody to the stage tonight. We have, for your viewing pleasure, myself, Shane, a nerd who likes beer, and over to the west of me
is me.
What?
And Dave. So Dave, you go first this time. Come on, Dave, answer.
What am I supposed to go first about?
Introduce yourself, you knob.
Say who you are.
Oh.
Dave, by the time you introduce yourself, Locke will be finished his beer, and that's a bad thing. I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Okay, I'm Dave.
And I'm Alan from Victoria.
And Locke, where are you?
And I'm Locke. I'm here in Vancouver.
All right, boys. Now, what is the beer tonight? The beer selected 2 weeks ago by Dave?
Alan.
Who picked this beer? Oh, it was Alan. Oh, Locke picked it. Somebody picked the beer. I don't know.
Lockhart picked it.
So we're picking up this one here. For me, anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
Four Winds
your
IPA.
label looks different.
Does mine?
Oh,
Yeah.
I got the Four Winds.
Yeah, he's got the Juxtapose IPA.
Yeah, he's got the Juxtapose. I couldn't actually find the Juxtapose, but I found the other one.
Oh, okay. All right. Good enough.
So they're basically
So
two different
this is,
IPAs from the same brew. Alan, describe.
Okay, well, the Juxtapose is a Brett IPA. What is a Brett IPA, Lockhart?
So Brettanomyces is a special type of yeast. It's a wild yeast, and it has unpredictable results on the flavor of the brew. It's where you sometimes get notes of really crazy things like pineapple in an IPA.
Weird. So, is it possible that you get like roast beef and gravy? Is this like the beer for like what was that movie, the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where like you put in the gum and it like makes different kind of flavors and you never know what it's going to taste like? It's blueberry pie and then it's like roast beef. Is it like that?
That unpredictable.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
that would be cool.
Dinner in a bottle. Okay, so it's a Brett IPA, and apparently that's using a wild yeast that can really mess around with the flavor of the beer. It is a 6.5%, and it's part of their Zephyrus series, named after the Greek god of west winds. Is a series of bottle-conditioned ales inspired by the hop-heavy brews of our native west coast. And I guess that's important that it's bottle-conditioned. That means that they actually put the beer in and then they put in some sugar into it and it actually carbonates naturally. I don't know if a lot of mass-produced beer today, if they bottle condition. Do you have any?
Yeah, I think it's definitely the exception.
Yeah, so what they do is they force carbonate it and then they bottle it and they ship it out. Whereas this, they bottle it, they put in a little bit of sugar, and it's actually got to sit somewhere for probably about 6 or 7 weeks before they can ship it out.
You know, you were so sexy when you were talking like that.
Who? Me?
You were like, yeah, and then it has to sit around for 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah, it's got to sit around 6 or 7 weeks in a warehouse somewhere.
You had such authority.
Just with the rats. In the warehouse.
And you guys, so you guys all have that one. Now, the one that I could not get that one. I'm
shocked.
Which is weird because it was in the store 2 days before, and then it was gone. So, but they just had brought in some of this, which is their regular IPA, so I grabbed that instead. Which has more booze in it, surprisingly enough, which I thought was a bit odd.
Oh, really? What's the percentage on it?
7. So not a whole lot more.
Really?
Just a little bit. And so, but I just wanted to show you guys the color, because this color, it's a bit lighter than the one you guys have, I think.
Well, here, let me do my pour.
Okay, do your pour.
and we'll see. We'll compare.
Oh,
This
actually,
smells
wait a minute.
awesome.
I would say that this one is definitely lighter than the one that you've got, Shane.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm just
maybe
gonna-
not. I don't know. You know what? I would say that yours is a little bit more
A little more color to it, maybe.
cloudy.
Yeah.
Mine's very clear. I can see right through it, and I can't see through yours.
No, I can't see through mine either. But I'm liking it. It's a little bitter. I'm liking this.
This one is a bit bitter too. I'm detecting a sort of a citrus kind of smell to it. Lockhart, what do you?
Yeah, the citrus thing. You know what? So the one that's taken that the furthest is, and I can't remember who makes it. But it's a thing called Fresh Squeezed that I had
Yes.
once. And no joke, this was a beer that tasted like orange juice.
It was very good.
Yeah, yeah. And that was a fresh hop beer as well, I think. Yeah, this doesn't obviously a little different. It's what can I say about it? It's got a little bit of
It's got a bit of bite.
got a little bit of a bite, a little bit of an sort of has a I feel like there's a kind of a late autumn kind of feel to it, just in the way what it evokes for me. But
it's not a hot day summer drinking beer.
Yeah, a little too funky for like just straight up refreshment value. Yeah.
Yeah. Dave, you're diving into that. What do you think? And the caveat being that David doesn't like IPAs.
No.
So,
but you know what? I'm liking this. At first I was thinking, I'm not even going to drink this fucker. I'm just going to smell it all night.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, it smells awesome. I think it's my favorite smell of the beers that we've done.
Okay, describe.
Wow.
How would you describe it?
Well, I would actually just describe it like pineapple, and I think that's only because you mentioned pineapple. But I swear, it's got something like that going on. It's just really nice, and I like it. It tastes good. It does have a bit of an edge to it, but it's not. Because the thing with me and beer, it's bitterness. Huh?
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I mean, Dave is kind of like the Mikey of from Life Cereal of IPAs. You know, if Dave likes it, it must be good. He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
I mean, it is surprising.
This has got a hell of a head on it.
Enjoy anything.
What? I don't enjoy anything?
No. But
Nothing?
it's very hard to get you to enjoy beer. I mean, that's really what we're saying, because you are so incredibly picky, and you're also, and in comparison to all of us here, you're kind of a beer noob.
No, I'm totally.
I mean, Locke is the expert, and you're the one who's expressing himself for the first time.
Yeah.
So what? So overall, we're
bit of
starting. The sort of theme for these beers this week is that we're actually getting real strong sort of citrusy response from the beer, which is interesting considering the brewing process for both is somewhat different. So, am I right in saying this, or?
Lockhart.
Locke totally just like zoned in.
Are you saying that the regular Bolt Standard Four Winds IPA tastes citrusy? Is that what you're saying?
A little bit, yeah. I don't think it's, from what you guys have described, it sounds like yours definitely is stronger in taste, but when it comes to that, but it's very similar. Yeah.
I've had both products, and I mean, definitely, yeah. I mean, it's I wouldn't say that I found their regular IPA to go all the way to like pineapple. I mean,
No,
oranges,
definitely not. Definitely not.
lime, but not all the way to pineapple, if you see what I mean. And that's the Brettanomyces. That's what that brings to the table. I've tasted Brett beers that even taste of banana, which I find strange. But I mean, like I said, you can do weird and wonderful things with it.
Now, would you actually use this to cook with? To actually, like, take some sort of food and douse it in beer and actually,
Like pineapple upside down cake?
Actually, that's not a bad idea. I like that. I'll be right back. I'm going to go make one right now.
Well, my own opinion on that is I think it would be a waste of a beer. I mean, seriously, if you're going to use beer for cooking, you use the cheapo bargain basement variety because you're not going to be able to tell whether or not you've used a bargain basement or a really expensive brew by the time it's all said and done.
Right. I totally get that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you put the beer can at the butt of the chicken.
Yeah,
that.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, and for the most part, I would tend to agree, but I don't know. I mean, I'm going to bring this up. Have you ever tried it with something that's really like an outlandish beer? Something that's likely to flavor the chicken. I mean, like Molson and Coors, that's not going to flavor the chicken. That's going to maybe keep it moist, but it's not going to flavor the chicken. Go all the way to some kind of like a Newcastle Brown. It's still probably not going to flavor the chicken, but you might it might be a little bit of an effect kind of thing,
right.
But imagine something, unruly level of hoppy, like your fat. And you ever tried?
Yeah.
Cooking.
Did we lose Lockhart?
I think we lost him. I think he's no, he's not moving. So to whatever Locke is saying, I'm sure it's very interesting and fascinating and very educational. Hopefully he'll come back.
I think he moved a little bit.
Did he? Did he, Locke?
There's less teeth.
There's less teeth. Oh! It's like he's going he's going like 6 frames per second. Oh, he's back!
Is he back? I don't think he's back.
He's almost back.
He kind of, what he looks like? Oh, there we go. That's better.
Oh.
Actually, right now,
back?
You're back. Well, the way
Can you tell if I'm back? Am I back?
Yeah, shut
Trying
up.
to be back.
Jesus Christ. Actually, he's kind of. He reminded me of Zordon, the floating head, the floating head from the Power Rangers for a little while. I think Alan is about to collapse. Anyway, sorry, Locke. We got a little bit of that. Continue, please.
Okay. So I can't remember. How far did I get?
You were talking about using like a really hoppy IPA up the butt of a chicken.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is, I've never actually tried it with anything that tastes sufficiently strong that I think it would be likely to flavor the chicken. Have you?
All right. No, I've never done. Actually, to be honest, I've never done it with even a cheap beer before. No, that's interesting. I figured that it would be burned off, and
I think a lot of it would be. I mean, but if it was gonna have an effect at all, it'd have to be a mighty strong tasting beer, because I think mostly what people do that for is just to keep it moist, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
Well, over that, I guess now we all agree that we like their selections, their IPAs, their wonderfulness.
Yeah,
now,
I really like it. Yep.
To top this off, to match a beer with a meal, sort of, Alan has suggested that this beer speaks volumes in the realm of adventure. So I want to praise and give thanks to Indiana Jones being named the greatest movie character of all time. And I'm sure that everybody here would agree that this is the truth.
I think so.
Okay?
I don't know, actually. I mean, yeah, Indiana Jones is a great character. Don't get me wrong. So anyway, what is it here? It's Indiana Jones was named the greatest movie character of all time by who? By Empire Magazine. They conducted a poll, and apparently everybody who voted Indiana Jones as the winner. The top three were after Indiana Jones were James Bond, followed by Han Solo, which is played by the same actor who plays Indiana Jones. That's interesting.
And I'm going to add something to that. The fact that James Bond was picked as a second is fascinating for another reason. You know how the Indiana Jones character was initially created, right? It was Lucas and Spielberg sitting on the beach going, wouldn't it be fun to make a James Bond movie?
Yeah, that's definitely true.
So the fact that that was the number two choice is, I'm surprised it wasn't number one. But
yeah,
it's a pretty tight family there. We got two Harrison Ford characters and two characters that are basically, Ian Fleming in origin, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rounding out the top 10, number 4 was Batman, followed by Ellen Ripley from Aliens, the Joker, John McClane of Die Hard fame, Tyler Durden from Fight Club, Darth Vader, the Dude, the Big Lebowski, was in at number 10. Actually, I think that's a pretty good top 10. Although I would put Darth Vader much higher.
Yeah.
I would have said the same with the Dude. Now, I want to go back to Ian Fleming for a second here.
Sure.
So, James Bond and Indiana Jones. If you consider Ian Fleming's career as a guy who actually was involved in intelligence work, right, and then launched off into a book career where he was writing fiction, which was ostensibly, there's the occasional wink that suggests that it might be more than just fiction. How much of Ian Fleming's actual spy career went into his books, do you think?
That's a good question.
Say, yeah, that's hard to say. I mean, we'd just be speculating. I would imagine that each story is based very, very loosely on some reality, or maybe there's elements of reality in it, but I think, as far as like villains and all that stuff goes, I would say there's no basis in truth on any of that stuff.
Seems a little far-fetched, don't it?
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, with the super villain requesting, from the United Nations, $1 million, or else it's gonna blow up a city somewhere or something. It just and then being put on a rack with like a slow moving saw blade and everything that's gonna start cutting him in half from his crotch all the way up to his head. And
no, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
slow moving killing mechanism, and they're not even gonna watch him die or anything like that. Oh, look at my pet shark. No, I don't think so. Or the guy that throws the hat. The guy that Odd Job.
Odd Job,
yeah. Throws the hat. I mean, come on, no.
Who throws a shoe? Who throws a shoe?
I mean
when you
honestly.
when you have a lot of films like that are out there making all kinds of parody of that particular genre, I mean, you have things like the movie Top Secret. You have, well, of course, you have the
Austin
Austin Powers series. What what is the other one? There's one other one that's notable that I just can't think of at the moment. But essentially, it is a badge of honor that the character is. Well, actually, in James Bond, I mean, hell, James Bond has been around. What was the last number of the film? Like 22,
Oh,
21?
I don't know. They don't even bother with numbers.
I can't remember, but yeah, but essentially, yeah. I mean, when you have a film character that lasts for that amount of time, especially when you have different actors playing the characters, I think it was kind of a dangerous thing at the beginning, but kind of says something about the whole Christopher Nolan looking at Batman where anybody could be Batman, which I kind of disagree with, but anyone could be James Bond. I mean, why not? I mean, look, I read Christopher Lee's autobiography a couple of years back, who's passed on now, and it was quite interesting because he talked a lot about what he did, but there were points where he would say things, something like, and then there were some things that I did that I can't talk about right now, and then he would, that would be it, but it's kind of interesting just how these guys had these adventurous lives, which may or may not be a great thing, but considering it was wartime and that kind of thing. But I don't know. I just think that these characters give us a glimpse into lives that we most likely won't ever experience. And there's only a few people that have. I mean, granted, sure, they're far-fetched and and kind of crazy and amazing, which is what adventure is all about. But let's talk about this for a second. I don't know if we brought this up last time we talked about Indiana Jones. But if you take a look, and I blame the Big Bang Theory show for this, where the entire story of Raiders of the Lost Ark, if you remove the character, and at first I didn't believe this, but then after a lot of thinking and kind of coming to terms with the fact this might actually be true, if you take the character of Indiana Jones out of the movie, the plot line really would play out pretty much the same, at least up till the ending, and it would be a far shorter period of time. So, have you guys actually heard this whole?
Yeah, I've been down this road. I mean,
sorry, just to interrupt. Yeah, we did discuss this at length in our very first episode.
We did? Okay, so let's not talk about it at length then, but still. Locke, you weren't there. What is your thought?
The point is this: he was there.
Yeah. Okay. See.
I mean, you could say, what if he was there? Okay, all right, okay, sure, fine. What if, suppose you took, well, I don't know. I guess it sort of begs the question because now we're about to get 3 new movies that may all, make a lot of demands on the previous 3, maybe 6, but I was going to say, suppose Luke and Leia never found out that they were brother and sister, right? Or some other detail, like you can add and take away over to the character of Jar Jar. That's and would you still watch the movie?
In your face, Jar Jar. I don't know. So Dave, you've not said anything really about Indiana Jones being, chosen by this magazine as being the best character ever, or the greatest character of all time. Would you agree or disagree?
That's a tough one. I mean, I think he's awesome. I'm definitely gonna be on board with that. I don't know. I guess in my head he wouldn't have been made the greatest, but I'm also having trouble thinking of who would I put in number 1. I really don't know. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Indy being on the list at all because he is so awesome. what I find interesting is that he actually has 2 of the top 3, the actor. So
That is
to
true.
me,
And I find it interesting that
that
he
says
has
more about Harrison Ford than the characters.
lighter.
You
Hey?
think it's more of a Harrison Ford thing?
Well, I'm wondering, right? Because he's, I don't know, he's so watchable, you know? He's got a manner
Do you ever
about him,
crush
I
on
think.
Harrison Ford?
He's
Maybe.
got a man crush. The interesting thing about Harrison Ford is the most recent video I've seen of him is not from the Star Wars trailer. It was from a
Golf course.
the what? Oh, the golf course? No, not crashing a plane.
In a golf course. Yeah. Well, anyway.
Well, no, it was. I don't know when this aired, but it's a video of him with some. I think it's David Blaine doing a trick in Harrison Ford's kitchen, and he has a deck of cards. He asks Harrison Ford to pull the card out. Then he puts the card. He memorizes what it is and puts it back in the deck, and then Blaine puts the deck down and says, "Hey, you better, this orange here." He picks up an orange off of the fruit bowl, and then cuts it open, and the card that Harrison Ford had chosen was in the orange. And the interesting thing about this is not really the trick itself, but it's just how Harrison Ford kind of treated it at the end, where he is just staring at the magician guy, and the guy's like, "Hey, what do you think?" And he's like, "Get the fuck out of my house." And that's basically the whole video.
Did he actually say, "Get the fuck out of my house"?
I'm sorry?
Did he actually say, "Get the fuck out of my house"?
Oh yeah, he totally is like, "Get out of my fucking house." So it's quite decent. So I enjoyed it. But I gotta say that I really, really, really want to see what happens. See, now of course I'm thinking about Star Wars. I'm totally derailing my entire thought plan because suddenly Harrison Ford in Star Wars is something that I want to see now.
One thing I find very interesting about this top 10 list is who did they ask? All of these characters, from Indiana Jones to the Big Lebowski's The Dude, Ellen Ripley, the Joker, these are all sort of like action movie characters and, typical characters that you would see in guy movies. There isn't any characters here from a chick flick or anything. I mean, what about, I don't know, chick flick characters?
Well, I'm thinking that. I think that they're talking. When you have a chick flick character, I would say the bulk of the characters are pretty simple.
Bland?
They're very simple. When it comes to that sort of genre of film, they tend to be sort of basic plot lines, not a whole lot of adventure, not a whole lot of excitement. Maybe a little bit, I suppose. I don't want to put down chick flicks, and some of them are pretty decent films. But when you have that heightened reality of, Nazis are going to wipe you out, or, a space worm is going to eat your spacecraft. You have these realities that are so incredibly heightened that a character think of the character of Ripley. Ripley is put in a situation where there's an alien that wants to eat everybody, and it's unstoppable. So basically, you're just running around and hiding and hoping not to die. So, you have those sorts of characters in these realities, which I think is probably what people were thinking when they were thinking about the greatest character of all time.
I think there's something unwritten in the list there that says that all of the characters mentioned have to be able to be produced as action figures. You see what I'm saying? Like. Yeah,
I could see that. Yeah.
Like, in terms of an interesting character, pick any Kubrick movie, and there are more interesting characters serving tea to the characters that we're supposed to be watching. You know what I mean? Like in terms of detailed psychology. That's not something that we're really addressing through most of that list. Most of it, what it would appear to be, is models of a type of I don't know, state of mind, or maybe a kind of something aspirational, though. You know what I'm saying? Like they're all characters that they're more about being cool in every circumstance, like James Bond, yeah. Then they are characters about there's detailed and intricate work here on the part of the storyteller, right?
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised at one entry on here, and not to say that it's not a great character or anything. I'm just surprised that it made the top 10, and that's Tyler Durden from the Fight Club. I mean, does that really belong there?
Who is Tyler Durden at heart?
You're Tyler Durden at heart?
No, but who isn't? Like, everybody's got a little Tyler Durden in them.
I would agree.
I suppose.
I mean, right now, I feel like punching myself in the face and falling down and blaming somebody else. So.
I mean, what about other characters? What about other characters that maybe belong on this list? Like immediately coming to mind is like Bill S. Preston and Ted Theodore Logan from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, or the Ghostbusters characters, or.
Yeah, I gotta say Peter Venkman is pretty fucking compelling.
Yeah, Peter Venkman. What about Bill Murray's character from Caddyshack?
What the heck is the character's name in Caddyshack?
I can't even remember. I've seen the movie so many times that I can't even remember.
I'm trying to remember that character's name, and I cannot remember for the life of me.
No,
I've only seen it. Yeah, exactly. We've only seen it 100 times.
I'm thinking.
Okay, so on that note, he's done a bunch of cool stuff.
Raw from Up the Creek.
Really?
Really?
Raw from Up the Creek? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's fucking.
Who
cool.
was that? That was
I don't know who played that guy.
Oh,
he was at the budget.
He's kind of one of those guys. He's been in a bunch of movies, and I'll know the name if it's said, and I don't remember off the top of my head.
For the record, I said budget Steve Guttenberg. I could have also said better.
I think this guy's better than Steve Guttenberg. Well, okay. So what about the Steve Guttenberg character from the Police Academy movies?
Who is pretty good?
Mahoney.
Mahoney?
What about the guy that does all the sound effects?
Oh, my lord.
He's a walk-on gag in any film.
Yeah.
Well, sure.
Well, if you want to pick on Steven Spielberg, Steve Guttenberg, nah, okay, I was just thinking about the character he played from the Cocoon films, but I'm thinking, nah, he definitely doesn't. Never mind, ignore me.
Okay.
I can't think of, actually, aside from Police Academy, I can't think of anything that Steve Guttenberg has done that I really, really, really enjoyed.
Oh, there was one movie. It was called Amazon Women on the Moon.
Oh yeah, he was in the he was the dating scanner, whatever the hell it was. The Date, yeah.
Yeah, so Amazon Women on the Moon is this great movie, for people who don't know, is this great movie that came out in the late 80s. And it's a series of short sketches. And it has like so many A-list actors from that time in it. And ones that actually became A-listers after the fact as well. And Steve Guttenberg was in one sketch with Patricia Arquette where he was going on a blind date, and she requested 2 pieces of ID from him and ran the ID through a dating computer that she had. And the dating computer gave her a complete profile of everything that he's ever done in his life, including stuff that he's done in private that nobody else should know about, but apparently this computer does. And she's questioning him on all this, and he's getting kind of embarrassed and all that, and they end up not going out on a date because he's apparently not right for her.
That film, I just recall was it was it was like a snippet every so often where it was like a commercial that had like David Allen Greer dancing like a white guy, and it had BB King.
BB King in
like,
it.
These are blacks without soul. So please call now and support this organization to stop this horrible disease from spreading. It was amazing.
Every 5 hours, one black American is born without soul. David Allen Greer is one of those guys, and he's singing, you know, like Jeremiah was a bullfrog and stuff. He's like a singer, and he's got like he's wearing white clothes, and he has no rhythm whatsoever. And
I want to see this film again. I want to see this. Like Carrie Fisher's in it.
Andrew Dice Clay.
There's Andrew Dice Clay, right? Howard Hessman, Kelly Preston,
Ed Begley Jr.
Ed Begley Jr. Right? Arsenio Hall, Rip Taylor.
Yes. Arsenio Hall is in the opening act in it, and
Bryan Cranston is in it.
Absolutely hilarious. Is Bryan Cranston in it?
Bryan Cranston is in it. He is a bit character in one of the things. Same with Robert Picardo from Voyager.
Yes.
The Doctor, he's in it.
Yes.
You already said Steve Guttenberg.
Steve Guttenberg and Patricia Arquette. Anyway, there's a lot. In fact, it even opens up.
And
yes,
Joe
Michelle
Malone is in it.
Yes. But that was before Michelle Pfeiffer was famous.
Yeah, and there's probably a few others I'm forgetting, but it was amazing because it was just one of those weird. Who am I forgetting? This is really bugging me. Ronnie Cox. I'm looking it up now.
Oh, okay.
Hang on. Ronnie Cox and Huey Lewis and Robert Loggia. That's who it is. And yeah, the film has everybody in it. Everybody. There's nobody who isn't in this film. I'm surprised it wasn't created and produced by Steven Spielberg.
Okay. So basically, the opening segment of it shows an airplane coming down, and it says "Amazon Women on the Moon," starring lots of actors, and that's all they needed to say. That was it.
Oh my God, Ed Begley Jr. Oh wow.
I already said that one.
Did you? Oh, I totally didn't. I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
So basically, overall, beer, thumbs up, people. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Juxtapose from Four Winds. Yes. Go for it.
And their regular IPA, which is also as good.
Mm-hmm.
And Indiana Jones, best character in the world. Universe?
I don't know about that. Yeah, I would say it's probably
You're
top
not buying
3.
it?
I don't know if it's the best.
All right, Locke.
Before I watched the Indiana Jones movies, I wanted to be a paleontologist. Afterwards, being an archaeologist seemed like an okay thing.
Cool, Dave.
Yeah, I agree. He is very cool. He is.
Very good. Yeah, I kind of agree. So, Alan, when people are looking for you online, when they want to know if they want to stalk you, essentially, where are they going to find you? Where's the easiest place to stalk you online?
Well, if they're looking for an easy solution, they're not very good stalkers. But they could go on Twitter and look up @Alan M. Ford.
And Dave?
On the Twitters, I am the Fool. The PHU.
Not just on Twitter.
Ha ha ha. Nice.
And Locke?
You can look for me on Twitter, but why don't you be smarter than that and YouTube for Breakfast at Rock Central. Just about Stampede time.
That's true. It is almost, isn't it? And of course, me, Shane B. W. on the Twitters. Thank you again, boys, for crafting it up this week. And do we want to give a sneak preview of what beer we're doing next week, or do we want to keep it all a secret?
I
Keep it
think
a secret.
Okay, all right.
A secret it is. The masses have spoken.
Influencing is the ghost presence of this particular episode.
Nice. Wave
Everyone's a
goodbye,
secret.
everybody. Wave goodbye.
Bye. Bye.